Contemporary spiritual movements. Why the unification movement matters. Spirituality as an alternative to atheism. 3. Written by Abdel Moumin, Ahmed. Summary. Our spiritual deficiency and inner dissatisfaction stem from humanity's spiritual fall. The current human condition is understood, in the Abrahamic tradition, as a consequence of the fall of Adam and Eve. Humanity is in need of salvation, spiritually, intellectually, and psychologically. The unfinished journey of our ancestors toward salvation must be completed. This process involves liberation and healing that extends beyond physical death. From this perspective arises the concept of ancestor liberation. Today, there is a clear need for a global movement with a profound spiritual purpose. We observe the growth of reformist faith movements and an increasing spiritual influence worldwide. What is needed is a movement that integrates spiritual insight within an Abrahamic framework of unification, one grounded in moral integrity and spiritual discipline. Many spiritual and religious movements emerged in the 19th and 20th centuries, such as Jehovah's Witnesses, the Mormons, the Baha'i Faith, the Ahmadiyya movement, and the Republican Brothers of Sudan. In addition, postmodern spiritual science, which considers cosmic laws and human conscience, offers important tools for healing our troubled world. Spiritual research, based on experience and analysis, should be guided by a faithful, inclusive consciousness and a sound moral conscience. We also recognize the contributions of Far Eastern philosophies and new spiritual movements, as well as the early foundations of spiritual research societies in the West. Today, the study of near-death experiences is expanding. If the survival of human personality after death is confirmed through sound scientific research, it would represent a profound and transformative realization. Main discussion. Modern humanity is in need of a new form of salvation and healing, one that addresses intellectual, psychological, and existential concerns. We seek answers that restore our relationship with God, grounded in contemporary scientific and intellectual progress. This restoration aims to heal the divide between heaven and earth through both spiritual renewal and scientific inquiry into life after death and the nature of the soul. Such efforts offer a powerful source of hope. When we examine our spiritual reality, we see that humanity exists in a deeply weakened, almost spiritually lifeless, condition due to the fall of Adam and Eve. Humanity deviated from its original path during its formative process. Salvation, therefore, is a process of spiritual restoration and resurrection, involving a transformation of spiritual lineage and the re-establishment of harmony with God and the unseen world. Many of today's problems are direct or indirect consequences of this fall. As a result, we must take responsibility not only for the present and future, but also for the past, including care for those in the spirit world. Our ancestors remain present in that realm, ready to help and in need of our help. Humanity, both on earth and in the spirit world, requires salvation, liberation, resurrection, and transformation. This includes restoring a proper relationship with God and the spiritual realm, and healing the connection between the physical and spiritual worlds, including the angelic realm. We, as the present generation, carry responsibility toward our ancestors. Ancestor liberation is a form of resurrection activity, a process of healing that transcends physical death. Resurrection is inevitable for both the physical and spiritual realms, as all must be freed from the consequences of sin and fulfill God's purpose of creation. Recognizing this reality calls for a re-examination of many religious ideas and perspectives. Unification teaching expresses deep concern for those who have passed into the spirit world. It emphasizes their urgent need for liberation from the consequences of their earthly actions. This vision is grounded in spiritual discipline and moral integrity, aiming at the highest level of spiritual attainment, closeness to God, and the realization of an ideal world, both on earth and in heaven, beginning with the individual and the family. While many modern movements seek religious reform, such as Jehovah's Witnesses, the Mormons, the Ahmadiyya, the Baha'i Faith, and the Republican Brothers of Sudan, the unification movement is distinctive in its comprehensive vision. It addresses the past and future of humanity, seeks both internal and external transformation, and emphasizes spirituality, life after death, moral conscience, and disciplined living. It also engages with society broadly. Faith, academia, science, culture, business, and even politics, while maintaining its primary spiritual focus: the search for cosmic law and the cultivation of a true human conscience. Unificationism places particular emphasis on the connection with the spirit world. There is a dynamic interaction between the spiritual and physical worlds. While we influence the spiritual realm, its influence on us is greater, as spiritual beings can perceive us while we cannot directly perceive them. This influence can be both positive and negative, depending on the nature of the spirits involved. From an Abrahamic perspective, understanding true spirituality requires understanding the fall of humanity. Through this fall, humanity lost its original conscience and consciousness. Recovering these is central to the purpose of religion and spiritual life. In this effort, Abrahamic faith can find meaningful dialogue with Far Eastern philosophy and contemporary spiritual movements. Human conscience is inherently connected to God, while human consciousness encompasses both physical and spiritual dimensions. The fall diminished our awareness of the spiritual dimension. However, modern spiritual research increasingly affirms the existence of cosmic laws that guide human development toward the good by influencing both conscience and consciousness. Conscience lies at the heart of postmodern spirituality, which explores the spirit world through experience, observation, and scientific inquiry. The first institution dedicated to such research, the Society for Psychical Research (SPR), was established in 1882, and many similar institutions now exist worldwide. This raises an important question: is salvation confined to formal religious institutions? True salvation lies in restoring our relationship with God and the spiritual world. History provides examples of individuals, such as Marguerite Porete of the Beguine, and the similar in Christianity and Islam. The lady was executed 700 years ago just for her mystical ideas and outside church spirituality. Ultimately, we seek genuine healing, for ourselves, for humanity, and for the relationship between heaven and earth. Humanity serves as the bridge between the physical and spiritual worlds. Our earthly life is part of a greater journey, linking the visible and invisible realms, culminating in a transition to the spiritual dimension after death.